Twisted terror, terror's cry. Twisted terrors in the body, that funny man of fuse that
You're watching Twisted Terrors. Now your host, Zomboy.
What is going on, horror fanatics? Zomboy here. You're watching another episode of Twisted Terrors. On this episode, I'm going to be talking about 1982's Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. This movie was directed by Tommy Lee Wallace. You might know that name from It, Fright Night Part 2, Vampires Los Muertos with the Bon Jovi. This movie is rated R, comes in an hour and 38 minutes long. IMDb has this one rated as a 5.2 out of 10. Letterboxd has this one rated as a 2.8 out of 5. I'll read the plot. After a terrified toy salesman is mysteriously attacked and brought to the hospital, clutching the year's most popular Halloween mask, Dr. Daniels sets out to investigate the strange events and finds himself thrust into a nightmarish conspiracy. The tagline for this one is, "The night no one comes home." This movie is starring Tom Atkins as Dr. Daniels. You might know that from The Fog, Creepshow, Maniac Cop, Night of the Creeps, My Bloody Valentine. Stacey Nelkin as Ellie. Dan O'Hurley as Cochran. So let's jump right into it and talk about the movie. This movie does start off, you're following a man running away from some men in suits who are pursuing this man who is clutching a Halloween mask in his hand, saying they're gonna kill us all.
I mean, you never know when somebody might be needing help. And it might be my time next time.
They're going to kill us. All of us. All of us.
100 milligrams Thorazine. IV.
The man rushes him to the hospital where you meet Dr. Daniels, who is overseeing him. After they get him sedated, Dr. Daniels goes to lay down for the night because he's tired, and a man in a suit shows up, goes into the man's room, killing him by covering his mouth, shoving his fingers into his eye sockets, and breaking his skull with his hands. The man is pursued by Dr. Daniels out to his car, where the man proceeds to dump gasoline on himself, setting himself on fire and exploding the car. And the next morning, the police are there interviewing Dr. Daniels, and you are introduced to Ellie, the man that was killed, his daughter.
Is this my father?
Ma'am, I wouldn't. Not yet.
Let's get it over with. Yes, that's my father.
She's trying to figure out what is going on. Dr. Daniels is at a bar. He runs into Ellie. And they decide to investigate together what happened to her father. First thing they do is go to his store, and they're looking at his record book, and they're able to whittle it down to the last place he went was Santa Mira to pick up an order of Silver Shamrock Halloween masks. The next thing in his book was a date that he never showed up for, so they decide to go to Santa Mira to go check it out. They pack up the car, head to Santa Mira, get a hotel room, and decide the next day they're gonna go to the Silver Shamrock factory and check on if the dad showed up. Right away, as they're checking into the hotel, Dr. Daniels noticed her father's name is in the ledger in the hotel, so he stayed at the same hotel. You quickly realize this town is pretty shut off from the rest of the world. They have an early curfew where no one's allowed out of the house.
It's 6 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock. Curfew. Curfew. All residents of Santa Mira, please clear the street. confine your activities to your own homes.
The whole town is covered in security cameras, which seem to be fed all to Silver Shamrock. Dr. Daniels he decides to go down, even though it's past curfew, to the local liquor store, and somehow gets in and buys a bottle of liquor and runs into a homeless man asking for a drink, which he gives him a drink straight from the bottle. And the homeless guy says that Silver Shamrock ruined the town and basically is running it dry and brought in all its own employees, so they didn't offer jobs to anyone, and that if it was up to him, he would burn the factory down. After they separate ways, the homeless guy is now being chased by men in suits as well. The man is trying to get away from the men in suits, but of course they get a hold of him, and then one of the men grab him by the head and tear his head off of his body with his bare hands. And he is very strong. Ellie meets Marge. She's in the room next to them. She said she came to pick up her order of Silver Shamrock masks, and there was some kind of mix-up and her order wasn't ready. So she's not real happy, but she was telling them she's gonna go back the next day. They're gonna make it right. And then she also says the masks just aren't made like they're used to, and she shows her the mask she has, and the Silver Shamrock logo on the back has come off, and she says the quality is just not the same.
You know, I hate to say anything, but the merchandise is slipping. I mean, my 4-year-old was throwing the thing against the wall. Granted, the trademark shouldn't just come right off.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
By the way, my name's Marge Gutman. My shop's on Union Square in San Francisco. You can't miss it. Why don't you look me up?
Yeah, thanks, I will.
Bye.
That night, Marge is in her room about to go to bed when she notices on the back of the logo of the Silver Shamrock mask, there's a computer chip in the back. So of course she starts to look at it. She takes out a hairpin and starts prying around until laser beams shoot out of the computer chip, obliterating her face, and bugs start to come out of her face. And in the middle of the night, Dr. Daniels and Ellie, who are sleeping together because, you know, they just met and they're already have kissed and slept with each other, but that's besides the point. And they said there was an accident next door and Marge had been injured and she's being rushed to Silver Shamrock Factory because they have their own hospital inside and state-of-the-art equipment, and they will help her out. Dr. Daniels hears as the people are saying that it was a misfire, and he's not sure what a misfire is. The next morning, Ellie and Dr. Daniels, they go to the factory, find out that her dad did pick up the masks and left with them, so now they're not quite sure where to go. And he runs into the Cuffer family, who is about to get a tour of the factory because they have the #1 sales in the country. And so Dr. Daniels and Ellie end up pitching along, and they follow him through looking at how the masks are made and everything. And as they're leaving, that's when Dr. Daniels notices the men in suits standing all around the factory look quite a bit like the man who killed her father.
I just saw a couple of men who looked strangely familiar. And there's another one. They look an awful lot like the man who killed your father.
And then Ellie notices her father's car parked in a garage with a sheet over it.
What?
That's Papa's car.
Wait, Ellie, don't.
And the men in suits end up running them off. Dr. Daniels ends up calling the police to get some help out there, but for some reason the phones are down. They just have a message of a woman saying that the phone can't be used right now, so he can't call the police. When he ends up going back to the room, he notices the door is open and Ellie is gone. And some men in suits start chasing him, and he hides, and then quickly notices that Ellie is being hauled into the factory by men in suits. So of course, Dr. Daniels ends up breaking into the factory, and he runs into an elderly woman in a room who's knitting, and he says, "Where's the girl?"
Where's the girl? is she? Where is she?
And her head falls off. Ends up it's a robot. A very sophisticated robot in 1982. Then the men in suits capture him, and he kills one of them by punching a hole in his stomach. And then you realize the man in a suit is also a robot and is bleeding orange and yellow goo. And at that point, two other men in suits grab him and haul him down to Mr. Cochran, the owner of Silver Shamrock, who tells him that the old woman robot is going to be hard to replace because she's very old. Takes him down to the final processing area, which is the area of the factory no one is allowed to go into. And that's where he shows him he has a piece of Stonehenge in there and tells him it was a feat stealing it and bringing it to the factory, and that the stone has powers. And that's where you notice they're chipping little pieces of the stone off and putting them in these computer chips, which are going in the mask. And then he tells Dr. Daniels that he wants to give him a demonstration of the power of these masks. So he turns on some CCTV cameras, and it is the Cuffer family. They're still there in a living room, but locked in there, and the kid's got a mask, and he flips on the TV to a Silver Shamrock commercial, which is telling the kid to put the mask on, which he does. The kid ends up collapsing, and his head melts, and all these bugs and spiders and snakes start coming out of the dead boy's head, which a lot of these snakes are poisonous and end up biting the parents, and they die. And everyone in the room is now dead. And Cochran tells him that people just forgot what Halloween's all about, and that it used to take a sacrifice to keep the dead down, and this is going to be the ultimate sacrifice, killing all the children with these masks. The next scene is just clips from around the world in different countries of all the children wearing Silver Shamrock masks, and you realize that the plan is when the commercial comes on, it's going to kill all the children that are wearing the masks. Cochran ends up tying Dr. Daniels to a chair in front of a TV and puts a mask on his head and tells him basically he's going to sit there and watch the commercial. But if you notice on the TV, they are playing Halloween, the first one. So in this movie, Halloween is a movie. Kind of neat. Dr. Daniels ends up kicking a hole in the TV, using a piece of glass to cut his bindings, and then he throws the mask up and over the camera so he's not noticed and crawls up into the air vents where he's able to find Ellie and get her out, and they end up escaping back down into the final processing area where all the men in suits are. It's a funny scene where they're basically sitting at this computer that's a giant circle with buttons all over it. Dr. Daniels ends up walking up to one of the boards and hitting a couple buttons, turning the commercial on in that room on all the CCTV TVs, and then he grabs a box of the tags and goes up into the rafters and drops them down, and then they all start misfiring, killing all the robots except for Cochran. And the last scene is the Stonehenge rock starts glowing, sending a giant beam through Cochran as Ellie and Dr. Daniels escape the factory, and then it explodes in the background. Dr. Daniels and Ellie end up getting in the car. They're driving to safety. As they're driving out of town, Ellie attacks him, and then you realize Ellie's a robot. He ends up hitting a tree with the car, which rips Ellie's arm off, and then you get this battle between the two as he's smashing her in the head with a tire iron. After Dr. Daniels ends up knocking her head off with a tire iron, he makes his way to the same gas station as the beginning, telling him he needs to use his phone. and he goes in and uses his phone, and he's calling the TV stations, begging them to take the commercial off the air, which has just started. And he's watching a TV, and the commercial keeps going, and he's telling them to please shut it off, please shut it off, and it keeps going.
Take off the third channel. It's still running. Stop it, please. For God's sake, please stop it. There's no more time. You've got to... Please, stop it. Stop it now. Turn it off. Turn it off. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
As he's begging for them to take it off the air. And that is the end of the movie, which obviously it did not come off the air, so therefore all those kids died. So I know what you're saying. Halloween 3, what the heck happened here? I'll be honest with you, I actually saw this movie before I watched the first two Halloweens, so this movie has a special place in my heart just because I really like this movie. Now, yes, it does not have Michael Myers in it. It has nothing to do with Halloween 1 or 2. So what they decided to do in this one is, after Halloween 1 and Halloween 2 came out, they decided to do an anthology series, starting with this one, where it would just be a horror movie about something that happened on Halloween, and every time they made one of these movies, it was going to be a different scenario on Halloween night. Now, this movie did so poorly in theaters, they scratched that right away and went right back to Michael Myers. But what do you think's going to happen when all the Halloween fans go to see this and it doesn't have Michael Myers? Now, this does have some connection to the first two Halloween movies when it comes to one of the main robots that actually ripped the guy's head off. That is the same actor that played Michael Myers in Halloween 2. Also, the recording that plays in the town over all the loudspeakers telling them it's curfew is Jamie Lee Curtis. It is her voice.
It's 6 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock. Curfew. Curfew. All residents of Santa Mira, please clear the street.
And then also the operator on the telephone when he can't get through is also Jamie Lee Curtis.
Sorry, we cannot complete your call as dialed. Please hang up and I'm sorry, we cannot complete your call as dialed. Please hang up and check the number and dial again.
There's a couple little Easter eggs here from the last couple, but besides that, it has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. I do love the practical effects of this movie. I think they are awesome when it comes to the heads getting ripped off and smashed and explosions and Stonehenge. And is it a goofy story? By all means, yes it is. This one is out there, but I still enjoy it. I can't imagine when someone wrote the screenplay for this one, someone read it and was like, this is a great idea. Because I mean, it is out there. A guy killing children with a piece of Stonehenge on Halloween, melting all their heads due to a commercial. But it is still fun. I do like there's two places in this movie where you can actually see where they're playing the Halloween movie. There's a commercial for it telling them it's going to be playing soon, and then also later on it's playing on one of the TVs in the background as well. I do think it's hilarious that Dr. Daniels and Ellie meet after her father is murdered. They set eyes on each other at the hospital, but they don't say anything. The first time they talk is in this bar where he's like, hey, I'll go with you, why not? And then next thing you know, they're in a hotel making out and then sleeping together. And these just met and her father was just murdered. So let me tell you, they were moving pretty fast here. There's a lot of goofy stuff in this movie as well. You can't take it too seriously. You know, at the end of the movie, when Dr. Daniels is turning the commercial on in the final processing room, there is over 1,000 buttons in this room. And for some reason, he knows the exact 4 buttons to push to start the commercial on those TVs only. I mean, that's a 1 in a billion chance he would get that right, but he does. But I mean, it wouldn't be a finished movie without it, now would it? The scene where Tom Atkins throws the mask up over the camera, that took surprisingly a long time to get. It took Tom Atkins over 40 attempts to get the mask to go up over the camera throwing it. And there is a funny story that the director sat down to show him what he wanted, and he got it the very first try. So that's pretty funny. When Dr. Daniels checks the registry at the hotel, the names on the registry are actually all people involved in the movie. So there's a nice little Easter egg there for the people that were involved in making this movie. I think that's pretty cool. And then also the gas station in this movie, John Carpenter actually had in another movie he called The Fog. So it's actually a nice little tie between the two when it comes to a fun crossover location. And then the tagline for this one, The Night No One Comes Home. It's a deliberate ripoff of the original Halloween, which is The Night He Came Home, which is kind of neat. But I mean, besides that, nothing else crosses over. But this is a fun 80s time capsule. Like I said, the special effects are good. The acting is pretty good. It's got Tom Atkins, which I always enjoy watching Tom Atkins. He's in a bunch of really good stuff. Dan O'Hurley, who played Cochrane, also great. Ellie, she's gorgeous in this movie. So I highly recommend it. Now, if you go into this one wanting a Halloween movie, you're just not going to get it. It's not going to be the same vibe, the same feel, or anything. This is a standalone movie that's got the Halloween title on it, which I think they should have just called it Season of the Witch. Left off the Halloween thing, and I think this movie would have did a lot better. But unfortunately, I think now it is kind of a cult classic. You know, every once in a while you'll find some really cool merch with this movie, but besides that, it's a fun movie. I like it. You just can't expect too much out of it. So I highly recommend it. Zomboy says, for me, this is a buy, just because, especially near Halloween season, I like watching this one. And I think growing up as a kid, this is one I always remember being on TV as well. So go check it out. Tell me what you think down in the comments below. What did you think of Halloween 3? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Tell me why in the comments down below. This is Zomboy saying I will see you on the next video. Keep it scary. Bye.